What's up guys, welcome back to episode 3 of the prep series. So I did miss a week last week, so apologies, I'm very busy going on. Lots of new things going on with Jack as well. We actually filmed a podcast called the Double J Show. So basically that is our weekly podcast show that we're now doing. Basically it's going over topics, talking about our preps. Which is really cool and had a good response, so I'll keep putting them out and also trying to keep up with the weekly vlogs as well. So today is deload legs, very boring deload legs, but still heavy. I think a lot of people, when they do deloads, they do it wrong. They just assume that they shouldn't train heavy at all, but that's just totally wrong. The way I look at it, when you go and do a deload week, you should be doing around about 10% less of the load that you normally do, and also cutting your volume in half. So for example, if I'm lifting 100 kilos for sets of 6 on a squat, which isn't what I lift a bit more than that, then you want to drop it by about 10%, so drop it down to 90 and slash your sets in half. So if you're doing 4, do 2 sets. Very simple. Half your volume and take a little bit off your loading to make yourself ready for the next training block. New load today, actually didn't have a new load yesterday of 178.6. Today I actually went up, which just sucks a little bit, but I know why. Last night I had a lot of food before bed, and it was just lots of food in the digestive tract, so that will be one of the reasons why, and had a bad night's sleep. So hopefully tomorrow we'll have a new low come in and get back to normal. So currently 12 weeks out, feeling really good, happy with where I'm at right now. And I'll take you through this very boring deload leg workout. Right, so I thought I'd record a little voiceover for this, just tell you what's going on. So this is basically just the warm-up for the leg session right now. So as you can see, I'm doing 100 kilos, and I think I do this for around about 6 reps. Before I actually do this, I do a set of 60 for 8 reps for 2 sets, and between that I also do some dynamic stretching as well with the resistance band to really get obviously my glutes activated. Just get everything firing basically, because I think if you're going in cold to your workouts and just going straight in at your working weights, you're not going to put yourself in a good position, and you're possibly going to put yourself at injury as well. So another set here on 120 kg, no belt yet, no sort of wraps or like shoes, just basically just testing the weight, seeing how it feels. And this is actually my first squat session back since my injury about 4 or 5 weeks ago. So it's always nice to just get back into things. I don't go too heavy today, obviously, as it's a deload workout as well. So currently doing 140 kilos here, and I think I do this for about 1 to 2 reps. And again, like, this is still my warm-up. This is still accumulating up to the sets where I want to be doing. And I think everybody should really do this to get themselves prepared and ready for the set at hand. So this is my first set on 150 kilos. So I think I do this for a set of 6. Very easy, not too hard at all. Obviously I'm going at around about an RPE 6 to 7, more or less a 6 probably looking at the video. But yeah, just really getting back into the swing of things. I haven't got my squat shoes on in this actual clip, and I don't actually use them for this workout. I'm going to see how far I can progress without them, because with the squat shoes, like the elevated heel, I've found in the past I do get some knee issues where obviously the elevated heel is pushing the kneecap, I guess, further forward, and I'm just testing it out. So just normal shoes right now with knee sleeves and a belt, and then I may add squat shoes back in at a later date if I need to. But this is now set 2. I only do 2 sets of everything on a deload week, and that's how I plan it in for my clients as well, because we're basically just looking to slash volume in half, doing similar loads to what we would normally do, to really get us ready for the next training block, and just to really get rid of any fatigue that we've gathered during that sort of 6 to 8 week mesocycle that they usually are run on for. So yeah, we're just really looking to eliminate fatigue, but still get some sort of stimulus from obviously the work that we're doing. So that's the end of the squats, and we move on to Romanian deadlifts. And again, same process, warm up with 60, warm up with 100, do a couple reps on 120 that I'm doing here. And then I'll go up to my first working weight, which is 140 kilos. Very happy with this. Form felt really good. So obviously you can see that I'm not going all the way down, and I'm sort of staying within what I would call my active range of motion for this movement. So I think a lot of people, they go way too close to the floor, and all they're doing is just using their lumbar. And what happens is you're basically just recruiting your lower back when this really is a hamstring and glute dominant movement. Pretty happy with how the contractions were here, and squeezing through the glutes at the top as well. So yeah, that another set on this as well. So just doing 2 sets, I think of 8 on this. My usual working weight for this is about 160 kilos for sets of 8. So we're sort of, again, around about that 10% less limit than what I would normally be at. But still obviously getting a good stimulus in to allow for not to become obviously too fatigued during the deload week. So yeah, pretty happy with them. So moving on to some leg extensions here. Again, looking at sort of an RPE 6 to 7, nothing too intense, but just trying to get some novel stimulus in. Kept my knee sleeves on, as you can see, but they're below my ankles. That's just me being lazy. So I did 2 sets of this, I think in 15 reps, which is my normal kind of working weight for leg extensions, is around about 65 to 70 kilos. So I think this weight was about 60 to 55 kilos. So again, sticking to about 10% less than I would normally do, and just slashing the sets in half. I'm not obviously being a total wimp. There is some hurting feelings obviously when I'm doing this, and I'm not just like, because it's a deload week, half-assed and everything. I'm still thinking of using the muscles. I'm still obviously mind-muscle connection. Deload week isn't just a week where you just forget about training and just go in and be blasé about it. So last thing here is leg curls. I did actually do calf raises after this as well, but I didn't really record them because they're boring to record. So as you can see, really keeping my butt on the bench, and thinking about before every rep, activating my glutes, activating my hamstrings, and really just using them to pull the weight. So I think I'm doing about 55 kilos here for, I think it's a set of 8 to 10. Holding the bench further forward because the handles on this, they don't actually allow for me to be in an optimal position. Whereas this, I can find I'm going to hit my hamstrings a lot better, and it's not going to take over from any other muscle. But yeah, that's pretty much the workout today for the deload leg workout. Bit of smoke there. Better. Right, it's Wednesday evening. It's the same evening since I finished my workout earlier. So you would have seen that was the deload workout. It was extremely boring, but still getting the stimulus in. Working at around about sort of 10% less than I would normally do. So we're looking at sort of about 165 kilos, what I would do on the squat, as I would have mentioned in the video anyway. So this is pre-bed meal. So it's pretty much been my pre-bed meal for a good couple of weeks now. It's 250 grams of faye. It's not fadge. It's not vag or phage. It's faye, and it says it on the back as well. Look, I think I fucked it up actually. Come on, focus. Faye. So faye. I only learnt that a couple of years ago. Been calling it fadge my whole life, and then found that out. So yeah, 250 grams of that. Scoop of whey protein, some crunchy nut, and some shreddies as well, or the cheap Tesco version, malt Wheaties, with a bit of honey, and then that is pretty much it. I'm gonna go eat this, watch Prison Break, and I'll see you tomorrow. very weird lunch here today. So we've got 50 grams of oats with, I think it was about 10 grams of whey in there, and a bagel with turkey and cheese in it. So a bit weird, but just fancied something different, and this looks quite nice. Another deload workout today, so we've got a upper session. No stims this week at all, so no caffeine, just a coffee in the morning, that's it. I usually, on my deload week, just take caffeine out, mainly just to, I guess, resensitize a little bit, so when it comes to when I need it, I'll then obviously feel the effects better than just constantly using it all the time. So if you're a caffeine lover and you're still using it in the deload week, perhaps take it out and see if it makes any difference for when you bring it back in the next week. But I'm gonna eat this, go and smash a upper workout, and yeah, that's pretty much it. What is this?
IPL.
An IPL is basically an electric epilator, so
It's not.
she's nervous, she doesn't want me to do it on her, so I'm the guinea pig. Here we go.
So yeah.
So if this YouTube video doesn't get uploaded for some reason, I've died, so that's why.
So you have to hold it on your skin and press the button.
Hold it on the skin there?
Yeah, like contact.
Not far away.
No, contact with the skin.
Contact with the skin?
Yeah, and then press the button and keep it held down as you move it.
No, but it's Jack Gad fashion, or Jack Gad beauty.
Beauty.
Now. Jack Gad beauty, right, fuck it, let's do it.
Ah!
Fucking hell!
Did it hurt?
No, but I
Oh.
thought it was going to electrocute me.
Do it again.
God, fuck me.
Yeah.
It's just hot. There we go. Review. Shit. Doesn't even get rid of it. What am I
It's not going to take it out of it. It's
Right.
supposed to stop the growth.
Right, let's start talking about clean eating and Iifym macros, which was the subject of this YouTube video. Right, let's go to that topic. Right, so subject of the show today, YouTube channel, whatever. We're talking about Iifym macros or clean eating in a contest prep. So I know a few people have covered this, and I wanted to give basically my own opinion on it, because I've obviously I've done a contest prep before using Iifym macros, and I think sharing the experience and my views on it is probably a good idea. So let's just I'll take you through my first prep. This is just some of the meals that I was eating during that time period. So the first one you can see here, that's basically, it looks like really shitty food. Like, it looks like just an absolute heart attack on a plate, but realistically it's oats, yogurt, jelly, marshmallows and strawberries, so nothing too horrendous. It's not too bad. Next one there is basically puffed wheat, which is just basically sugar puffs with no sugar, and that's a protein cake with, again, some cake and yogurt. So it's like the ingredients, they're not, I guess, dirty, but when it's all put together in a bowl, it does look pretty horrendous. Like, there's no denying that. This is basically just some oats with, I think that was like a Milky Way on top, with sugar-free marshmallows, some apple and jelly again. So again, nothing too horrendous. And then this is basically what a sample refeed day would look like. So it would be quite a high carb meal. So I think that's just chicken and noodles. And then I would have pink and whites on the side with some cracker bread covered in some light cheese and some plums. So like you can see looking at that my head probably wasn't in the right place for picking the foods which are going to be most optimal. And there's no denying that you can't get shredded on Iifym macros. Like, this is what I ended up looking like on my show day. Like, I dieted for, I think it was 40 weeks in the end. Obviously there was a reverse diet in the middle, but you can get shredded eating Halo Top, Ben & Jerry's, protein bars, which I've just had now. You can get shredded using an Iifym macros diet for a contest prep. There's no doubt about it, and I think anyone who tells you that you can't, they just haven't done it. Like, they just haven't actually done it to see whether it works. And if someone is putting it out there that Iifym macros doesn't work in a contest prep,
the reality is they probably just haven't dieted for long enough to really get down to those low levels of body fat needed to do it. So my view on it is yes, you can use if it fits your macros, but there's got to be a limit to it. There's got to be a limit where you're not taking the mick with it so much that your training then becomes affected, because that's what I did. For me, I was saving a lot of my food to the end of the day to make those flex bowls that you saw, and I was saving probably about 1,000 calories worth, and when I look back, that probably could have been used for my training. I probably could have used that to make my training better, so I wasn't so lethargic, so tired, so I wouldn't have lost strength, which then most likely lost to muscle loss as well. So that's when if it fits your macros can become a problem in a contest prep. And also obviously digestion as well. If you're eating a lot of those foods like I was eating, digestion issues you could run into, and actually utilizing the nutrients you're putting in your body, sometimes if you're just putting in loads and loads of crap, it's not going to get utilized as well as it could be. But yeah, that's I'd say the biggest takeaway from this is, if you're going to use if it fits your macros, make sure it doesn't affect your training, and make sure you're not saving thousands and thousands of calories to make flex bowls like I did. Yes, it made me adhere to my diet. I was in a caloric deficit and it got me shredded, but my training suffered as a result, and there was most likely some muscle loss from when I started my prep to the end. I don't think you need to eat clean every day to get shredded. Just look at Mike Harrison. So Mike Harrison, I think, is a week out. This is what he currently looks like. He looks absolutely shredded to the bone. And that man has had like a Halo Top or a Breyer's ice cream, and there's been flex bowls as well every night since his prep started, and that's what he looks like. Obviously, like, his bank account's probably ruined from Halo Top now, and me and Mike have had this joke, but he is shredded, and he is obviously using the Fit Your Macro Star diet. So you can do it. There is no reason why you can't have Halo Top or low calorie Ben and Jerry's or have a protein bar. Like, you don't have to eat clean in every meal. Obviously, make up the majority of your diet from clean foods, making sure you're hitting your vegetable amount, hitting your fruit amount, hitting your fiber, and make sure that your training is the top priority. And if you're still nailing your lifts, hitting your numbers in the gym, and you have a protein bar in the evening and everything is still fine, that's fine. Like, you don't have to go home and have a big bowl of oats and whey if you really fancy fitting one of these into your day. Like, you don't have to do that. So main things to take away from this: you can get shredded using if it fits your macros, but you've just got to give yourself enough time to diet. Like with any diet, if you're not lean enough, it's not because of the food you're eating, it's probably because you've got longer and you've got much more fat to lose. Don't utilize it to a point where your training starts to suffer. So if you're finding that you're saving a lot of food for the evening to fit these if it fits your macros foods in, maybe start positioning them earlier in the day, so when your training comes about, you're actually fueled for that session to retain your numbers in the gym. And just don't take the piss with it. Don't have a Halo Top with every meal, because that's not ideal. Make sure you're getting your fruits and veg in. If you look at the majority of my meals, from breakfast to lunch to pre-workout to dinner, they're all pretty clean. So it's a protein smoothie. I usually have rice and some tuna, or rice and some meat. Then pre-workout will be some kind of oats and whey. Post-workout will be whatever I have with my girlfriend. So that's usually chili, risotto, a meat and some sort of potato. And then in the evening, I might satisfy a craving with a protein bar or the odd pint of Halo Top. Totally different to how I did it in years before, but my food focus is less. I'm not walking down the supermarket aisles looking for foods to fit my macros, and it's been a lot better from a mindset point of view this year. So half clean eating, a little bit of if it fits your macros. I feel if you do that all the way through to your prep, you'd be absolutely fine. So don't stress it, just give yourself enough time to diet, fit those foods in if you have a craving, and you'll be fine. And when you come out of your diet, you won't then binge post-show because you've neglected ice cream and chocolate for the last sort of year. But I hope that was insightful. Obviously, I'm going to end the video here, so if you've got any questions, obviously just let me know. Obviously, don't forget to like, comment and subscribe, and we will see you in the next one.